Hey guys, welcome to Ball Cap Sports. It is late on the East Coast on a Thursday night, but there's been a lot going on today, and I wanted to come on, react to it, talk about it, talk with you guys who may hop in about it. So, what was it? Maybe it was late this afternoon. We started to hear that there was this buzzer situation that apparently the niece of Carlos Beltran, at least the Twitter account for the niece of Carlos Beltran, was putting out there that there was a situation where Bregman and Altuve were wearing buzzers that let them know what pitches came in, and that Altuve was wearing a buzzer when he hit the home run off of Chapman a few years back to clinch the AL pennant. And we've all seen that photo of Altuve running into home plate and telling the guys, we've seen the photo, we've seen the video of him telling the guys, don't touch my jersey. Don't rip it off. Michael Kay was talking about it the other day, that what if he was doing that because he was wired? And we all kind of joked about it. We all thought, that's funny. There's no way these guys are wearing a buzzer. There's no way these guys are wired like they are informants for the FBI. Absolutely amazing. But now all of a sudden, that might not be so crazy, because on top of that, we've got Trevor Bauer out here, and he's confirming it. Trevor Bauer saying, I've heard this from multiple parties too, for what it's worth. This is Trevor Bauer confirming what this so blessed one Twitter account is saying, that they were told to be quiet, but Altuve and Bregman had devices that buzzed on their shoulder, and that they also have pictures that they're going to save for a rainy day. So that's that. But then we get Gary Sheffield Jr. hopping in, because he felt that was necessary to come out and say that Carlos Beltran's niece isn't his niece, that it's a player, that it is a burner for a player. And we can only imagine what player that is. And God, please let us figure out at some point who that player is that is coming out with this information. Because if you remember yesterday, that same account put out that Carlos Beltran was not going to be the manager of the Mets anymore. And then it was confirmed this afternoon at the press conference that he was stepping down, or was fired. The messages are all over the place with this thing. So we've got all of that going on, and now we have MLB players reacting. And this is what's a little unprecedented for players to be coming out and saying that. We've got Cody Bellinger is probably the biggest one. For the sake of the game, I hope it isn't true. If it's true, there needs to be major consequences to the players. It completely ruins the integrity of the game. Alex Wood retweeting, amen. The fact that there hasn't been any consequences to any players up to this point is wild. Because, so far, it's only been the coaches and the GM of the Astros that have dealt with any consequences. The players have kind of come across clean out of this so far, except for maybe you could say Beltran, because what he did as a player cost him his job as the Mets manager. So you've got that, and on top of that, you got Alex Wood out here saying he would rather face a player taking steroids than face a player that knew every pitch that was coming. So now we're unraveling a whole new thing where Alex Wood is like, yeah, give me a guy who's juiced up over a guy who knows I'm throwing a changeup. And I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there, a lot of players out there that probably confirm and agree with that. Marcus Stroman, he tweeted that he's basically going to stay kind of neutral. I said, this is crazy. Can't believe all shit's coming out in baseball. Just going to sit back and see how it all plays out. I know my thoughts, but those will stay internal. I've learned that no comment is the best option at times. Not a bad idea from Stroman, but come on, man. Get in on it. We're all in on this. We got players coming out and not being shy not being shy at all. I got a kick out of Tommy Pham. He comes out and he's like, he retweets Joel Sherman's tweet about the Altuve home run, and he's got a little, hey, look at this. What's that sticking out of the jersey? Could be a wire, and that might not be inaccurate. So we got Tommy Pham getting involved. We got Alex Wood. We got Cody Bellinger, and we got Trevor Bauer, who's ready to go. Trevor Bauer's ready to throw down. I can't wait till Trevor Bauer. I hope they face Houston this year, because here you got Trevor Bauer selling T-shirts. Trevor Bauer is getting his Houston T-shirt out there. You can buy it, Buzzers and Bandits. It's like $27 or something like that if it hasn't been taken down. This is from several hours ago. So Trevor Bauer is out here selling T-shirts. You've got Tommy Pham putting out evidence. You got Gary Sheffield's son saying that the niece who's blowing the whistle isn't really a niece. It's a player. It's a burner. Who knows what to believe? It could be BS. This is Twitter, right? But I'm just, it's so wild that we've got players that are chiming in real time about this thing, and that's kind of crazy, right? So we've also got Trevor Bauer. So we have Jessica Mendoza speaking up earlier today, talking about how she wished that this would have been dealt internally. She didn't like how Fires came out and made it public and went to the media. And you got Bauer coming out saying there had been 2 years of internal discussions, many complaints filed, back channels used, evidence presented, no investigation. Sometimes you have to force the issue or nothing gets done. And he's right. Organizations are out for their best interest, right? Major League Baseball, if they hear about this, they're out for their best interest. If they know that their 2017 World Series is tainted, they are covering that up. I'm sorry. You don't want to throw that and ruin the integrity of your World Series, of the biggest spectacle that you put on throughout the year. So I'm not surprised if that's the case. But again, this is just Trevor Bauer putting it out there. Who knows? But at the same time, there could be a little bit there. There could be something there where there's smoke, there's fire. I wouldn't be surprised if this was brought up internally. And this is Mike Fiers, when he put this out there, just saying, forget it. I'm going out there. I'm going out to everybody. So you have Mike Fiers, Trevor Bauer talking about Jessica Mendoza, who was talking about Mike Fiers, and Trevor Bauer saying there had been internal discussions. Now, if there had been internal discussions, if Major League Baseball knew about this for a long period of time, knew about this for many years, oh boy, that is damning on Manfred. That is damning on a lot of levels, and that really hurts baseball. What else hurts baseball is what else happened later in the day. So we got all this activity going on with the Astros and the Buzzers and Bregman and Altuve and all this other stuff. And then out of nowhere, we get news on this guy, Mike Trout. We hear Mike Trout is using HGH. He's got a loophole that he discovered about players that have thyroid issues. And this is coming from David Brocious, Scott Brocious' son. So we got this happening now. Let me get this banner out of the way. So here we got David Brocious. My dad was a third base coach for the Mariners. Mariners knew the Astros were cheating. Every team did. The MLB did. Again, if Major League Baseball knew this for years, they are in big trouble here. If this comes out, there's enough smoke, okay? MLB just wasn't going to do anything about it until the public found out, which we have. My dad would give fake signs at third base, acting like he knew what the Astros pitcher was going to throw. Corin Hinch would scream at him, calling it Bush League. And then he throws out there, if you want to read something better, Mike Trout takes HGH for a thyroid condition. It's a loophole he found, and the MLB doesn't make it public because they don't want fans knowing their best player is on HGH. But people within know Thought you'd appreciate since you're a Dodgers fan. So, wow. I mean, a lot to unpack here. What's David Brocious doing? And whatever. But David, so Scott Brocious, Major League Baseball player from the 90s, was on the Yankees teams that won some World Series there, right? He's got his son David Brocious here, who's chiming in about Mike Trout. But we need to be careful about this because that's a big allegation. And we can't be throwing Mike Trout under the bus. This is a big thing. Let me back up a little bit. So Mike Trout, since he's come up to Major League Baseball, has pretty much looked the same. His stats have been the same. His home run numbers did go up a little bit this year, but we saw the previous year that his fly ball numbers were going up as well. So that kind of accounts for the increase in power that we saw. He was starting to hit the ball in the air more. And, with how much power he generates with his swing, he was going to hit more home runs. So let's take it easy on Mike Trout with the steroids. On top of everything, though, we have people putting pictures up of Mike Trout. And the first one that really came out and was really big out there was this one. And here we got Mike Trout, and this was supposedly 1 year apart. Mike Trout, skinny Mike Trout, big, thick Mike Trout. This could have been photoshopped. This could be complete BS, but this is out there, so it needs to be addressed. This is something that anybody that sees this needs to take this with a grain of salt and kind of cool down a little bit. Now, I will say there was another picture that came up. I give this one a little bit more credence, and this is Mike Trout. This Twitter user saying Trout's consistent, was around the industry for years. I think I see things I know guys would not be proud of, but not with him. You want to talk about a solid human being? That's Mike. Here's a picture of him in high school and a picture of him more recently playing probably a Sixers celebrity game or something like that. So, this picture sort of counters this picture, right? You see this picture like, holy crap. You see this picture and it's like, he looks like the same guy. So let's be easy on Mike Trout. I think we need to give Mike Trout a chance to respond. He's got to, right? Mike Trout has to come out and just put it down. That's what you got to do. That is what didn't happen when all of the steroid allegations came out about McGuire and Sosa. They didn't come out and say, I didn't do it. And that's what needs to happen here with Mike Trout. We haven't heard from him yet. This allegation is kind of new anyway, but it does need to. He does just even if it's complete BS, even if Scott Brocious' kid is just coming up with shit, he's got to come out and just shoot it down. That's what Mike Trout has to do. If he doesn't, if this takes a couple of days and he comes out with a prepared statement, dude, we've seen this before. We have seen this played out before, and we don't want to see it again. If the best player in the sport is on HGH, oh boy, it killed the sport. The steroid thing, it killed him. This would be awful, and we can't have it. So, Jesus, Mike Trout, please come out. Please come out and say you didn't do it, because this would be bad news for the sport. Getting back to the Astros, because I want to spend more time on that. I just wanted to touch on the Mike Trout thing. The Astros is really where the story is, because there's a lot of people backing this up, a lot of people corroborating this. It's big time black mark for sure, not just on that franchise, but if Major League Baseball knew. We've got Trevor Bauer saying that they knew here. This is his tweet from earlier. 2 years of internal discussions, many complaints filed, back channels used, evidence presented, no investigations. If it has been 2 years of internal discussions and evidence presented, then we got a big problem here. I don't know how high it goes up. I mean, do you take the Astros franchise away from the current owner? His name, it's not coming to me right now, but do you take the franchise away from him if he knew about this. I don't know. He got fined $5 million for it. Can you fine him another $5 million for this separate a separate investigation on this on Buzzergate? I don't know. I would think so. I would think you can hit him again, and you got to start. I mean, they got to investigate hard. And if they already knew information, oh boy, that's just bad news. Let's look at Jose Altuve. So Jose Altuve, in his career, I don't know, man. So in 2015, he really took off. This was a guy that was hitting 5 and 7 homers a year. That's what he did the first few years of his career. It was 7, 5, 7. Then he got up to 15 in 2015. And then ever since then, he's had pop, right? He's been a power hitter. His steals have come down and his pop has gone up. There could be something there. Let's take a look at his splits. There's been a lot of talk about the splits, home and away. Jose Altuve at home. Listen, I mean, at home, he's a 310 hitter. On the road, he's a 319 hitter. So that's it for his career. Taking a look at his splits let's take a look at his splits just for last year. Splits for 2019. Taking a look at his road numbers. He was 306 at home and 291 on the road. So, I know there's that. I think there's an image out on Twitter right now with his playoff home and away splits, and it's pretty drastic, the home and away. But you know what? I mean, there's really not a whole lot there if you're looking at home and away. So what does that mean? I don't know if that really kind of saves him or hurts him. I mean, I know he's all of a sudden hitting for more power than he was the first 4 years of his career. There could be something there, but who knows? I mean, it's just kind of wild right now. What's going on? I still love this. This is one of my favorite things. We got Trevor Bauer selling T-shirts. Trevor Bauer's ready to go. If you haven't seen Trevor Bauer's Twitter account today, check it out. He is pretty much focused on this thing, and he's ready to go. Battle lines are being drawn. This was sort of back when we had the steroid era peaking. Guys that there was a lot of opinion from both sides. Guys that were taking steroids saying you had to do it because everyone else was doing it, and the guys that were doing it clean felt like they were getting robbed. This feels similar in that you've got guys that don't cheat and are pretty pissed off about this. And Trevor Bauer is one of those guys. Trevor Bauer is not into this at all. Let's see. Trevor Bauer. We got to see if Trevor Bauer faces the Astros at all this year. So let's pull up the MLB. Bear with me. Trevor Bauer is with the Reds. So we're going to do 2020 regular season schedule. Well, let me look at it for the Reds, not all of baseball. This will take me 5 years if we're looking at it for all of baseball. Cincinnati Reds schedule. And we're just going to breeze through and see if they face the Houston Astros at all this year. No, they don't. Let's see here. Houston Astros. Does not look like, unfortunately, we do not get a Cincinnati-Houston game in 2020, which is really unfortunate. That would have been great. Bellinger's kind of pissed off because they lost to the Astros in the World Series. Wood too. Those guys lost to these guys. Of course they're pissed off. And they're going out on Twitter. That they are told not to comment about this stuff. I'm certain that LA Dodgers sent an email out to everybody. MLB probably sent an email out to all organizations, and organizations spread it out to all their players. Don't talk about this stuff. But you got Bauer, you got Bellinger, you got Pham. You got guys that are not holding back because they're pissed off. Rightly so. It's rough. You got now we've got Pete Alonso staying neutral here, saying something but not saying something. Pete Alonso, yes, there's a lot of craziness in baseball right now. At the end of the day, we have to do our job on the field and win the battle between the lines. Great things are to come this year. The boys will be ready. And I mean, that's good to hear from one of the Mets leaders. They had a rough day today with Beltran being fired. No matter how it came out, how it was presented, he was fired. So Pete Alonso's out there with some positive vibes, and I'd say we need that right now, right? So that's what's happening. Twitter world, the Twitter world is on fire with MLB. This has been one of the craziest off seasons, I think. Ever in Major League Baseball, with Astros, with first the garbage can, and now the buzzers and the player reaction. It's pretty. It's something out there. It's something. So I just wanted to come on and see, talk with you guys about what's going on. I'm going to check and see if there's anything else happening with this whole situation before we wind down here. I'm not seeing anything new. I love it. Buzzergate trending. Of course it is. Not seeing anything. It's really all about Altuve, the jersey, not wanting his jersey ripped off. That is, that's it right there. Altuve saying, don't you rip my jersey off. I want this as a souvenir. Yeah, right. I've got my wire, and I got to get to the clubhouse and get it off. Look around. You'll see video of right after that home run, everyone else is out on the field celebrating. Altuve runs to the dugout and heads back to the clubhouse to change. Why do you think that is? There's just something there. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Where there's smoke, there's fire. That's all I'll say. Again, checking Twitter to see what else is maybe going on with this whole situation. See if there's any other players out there. That's something that I'm most interested in is what are the players saying? You got the media. The media is all going to say pretty much the same thing. But what are the players going to say? The fact that we have Tommy Pham retweeting and attaching this picture to his tweet says something. That speaks volumes. That's a big deal. So yeah, that appears to be everything really going on now. Like I said, it's getting late here on the East Coast, so things are kind of winding down. Who knows if we're going to have more craziness. But yeah, if you check out, so I don't know how to say his last name, but if you go on Twitter and check out Andrew Tavini, it's at Andrew Tavani. 57 minutes ago, he's got the video from Fox where right after the home run, everyone else is out on the field and Altuve runs into the dugout. So check that out. We're gonna wrap this up, wind it down. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Love all the subscribers. We're early days. We just passed 100 subscribers today, so that's awesome. Thank you if you have subscribed. If you haven't, please go ahead and do. Would appreciate it. We are just putting out baseball content nonstop. I think today we got 2 or 3 videos of baseball. We got football video that we put up this week or today. We did a football video yesterday. We got a lot going on. We are starting now that we're getting into we got spring training coming up. We're going to be starting some videos to talk about projections for the 2020 season. We're going to be doing 1-minute projection videos for a lot of guys. So if you're into fantasy baseball or just into certain guys like Mike Trout, we're going to do a video on his projection. Guys like Josh Bell, Aaron Judge, all those guys. Cody Bellinger will be doing projection videos, so you'll want to be here for that. So that is what I'm seeing. That's what I'm hearing. And if we see anything else crazy happen, we'll hop on and talk about it some more. Thank you guys for hopping on, checking out the live stream, and we will be back when more of this shit happens. All right, guys, see ya.